Navigara is the first ever performance layer for tech companies and AI innovation.
If you are good at bullshitting people, you probably are a good engineering manager.
Yeah, the people that got rich weren't in the mines. They were building things to support the miners. And that's what comes to mind when I think about Navigara.
Engineering is starting to be automated a little bit with these AI coding tools. We spot the same pattern as with customer care many years ago.
You need to brand a new type of metric so that we're creating an idea of measurement in an area where they didn't think of any actual quantifiable measurement beforehand.
Victor is quite popular these days. It's one of their investments, so hopefully we will beat them.
Most people work in tech with a lot of trust and a results-oriented work environment. I've never tracked the hours of any of my employees ever.
We decided to do like similar thing by reverse engineering how Claude Code or Cursor works, but not to generate code, but to analyze code written by people or AI.
Welcome to the Funded Now What podcast with your host, Andrew Lee Miller, brought to you by GrowthExpertz. You're in store for a chat about funding, marketing, startups, and all things growth.
All right, everybody. Hello and welcome back to the Funded Now What podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Lee Miller, also known as Andrew Startups. Today we have Jirka from Navigara. Navigara, we just spent 10 minutes trying to figure out the easiest one-liner, how to explain it to you. So I'm going to use my line, even though he's the founder of the company. Navigara is the first ever performance layer for tech companies and AI innovation. Essentially, everybody is rushing to invest more and more money in AI. They're often spending more on tokens than they are with employees. And you used to have the big management companies come in and assess the ROI of your bloated team. But who's coming in to tell you the ROI of your AI investments and transformation? Now you have Navigara, which essentially is an analytics and performance dashboard and consulting, agentic consulting company for your AI transformation. Did I do a good job there, Jirka?
Thumbs up. That was perfect.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit deeper about the product and how you were able to raise $2.5 million for this and why you started it.
So a lot of questions. So I will start with how we fundraise the money.
Okay.
For example, so it was really easy, surprisingly. It took us like a couple weeks.
Wow.
And we were like heavily overbooked. So we choose our investors. So right now, our major investor is Innovo VC. It's like a famous fund from CE, because also like our startup is originally from Central Europe, but right now we are a US company. And Innovo backed like a couple unicorns. You will probably know one like called Booksy or Spacelift, and soon probably many more. I think Victor is quite popular these days. It's one of their investments, so hopefully we will beat them soon.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what made you start this. And before you get into it, I will say in San Francisco, which I know you're also spreading your time there as well. The old adage from the 1800s, when there was an actual gold rush, they were actually mining gold, was that the people that got rich weren't in the mines. They were building things to support the miners. And that's what comes to mind when I think about Navigara. This is building to support the AI revolution. It's not trying to disrupt necessarily the AI companies that are already incumbent out there. And so, I think it's a great idea because I'm a data-driven marketer. You can't make decisions without data, and that's what you're trying to provide. But what made you start this?
I'm a software engineer for, 18, 20 years. And I manage engineering teams, 10 plus. And it's like such a hard thing to do. You have no data. You are doing based on your guts and based on your experience. And it's really hard to prove that you're actually doing your job right.
Right.
So the best way how to do this is to be a good storyteller. Basically, if you are good at bullshitting people, you probably are a good engineering manager.
And
because
marketing.
In marketing too, because like there are no numbers in engineering.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult So if you are able to explain to others how amazing your team is, you succeed. I founded also like an outsourcing agency. We work with like many companies to help them build stuff. And I noticed this like immediately, so companies that don't have a clue who is good, who is bad, who they are overpaying. So the moment when we notice that engineering is starting to be like automated a little bit with these AI coding tools, we spot the same pattern as with customer care many years ago, when the first transformers were introduced and people started to automate customer care. What happened back then is nobody wanted to approve these like big budget. Everybody started to measure customer care, and all these tools that were focusing on ROI, on customer care, and to basically analytic part of customer care was like booming back then. So we decided to do like similar thing by reverse engineering how Claude Code or Cursor works, but not to generate code, but to analyze code written by people or AI. And right now, everything what we tell like a year ago is paying off, because right now the biggest topic is how to prove the ROI on AI tools. We spent like a year building this, so we are like ahead of anybody in this. So we even invented a unit of performance in engineering. We have like multiple white papers about this. On daily basis, we measure the performance in open source. So even right now, you can go to our page and to see the performance of guys in OpenAI, on Codex, or on VS Code in Microsoft. And we're having fun.
So it's at the individual like employee level then? Like, so is this designed for, CTOs and people running companies to be able to weed out employees and fire people, or like what is the the ROI is keeping your team lean?
Yeah, like this is a really dangerous topic. Right now, as I mentioned, it's not to build for this purpose, but in order to measure engineering and measure the ROI on AI tools, you need to go to the individual level.
Right.
And it's really bad to view the measurement of an engineering team or the whole engineering on the individual level. It's good to look at those guys as a team. It's so much better, because the role of each person in a team is slightly different. But as a team, in order to calculate a team, you need to calculate each individual level. You need to calculate what is happening in every commit, every PR. And we are understanding this on this like detail level. So then we are able to tell stuff like this engineer spent this much token to deliver one ETV into production, which is our unit of measurement. And most of that engineering throughput value. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and the company spent this amount of token to deliver one ETV into production. And most of the ETV was new features, for example.
That's cool. It's a very interesting viewpoint for the company, especially right now. I mean, just innovation is so rapid. Everyone's like kind of getting burnt out. You need a North Star metric. I don't know if you're familiar with that term. In Silicon Valley, we say the North Star metric is the one KPI that we follow. It's an old adage, you follow the North Star through the darkness. And so your ETV, I think is what you said, is just, first of all, brilliant from a marketing point of view. This is the kind of stuff I normally teach tech founders. You need to brand a new type of metric so that we're creating an idea of measurement in an area where they didn't think of any actual quantifiable measurement beforehand. So ETV is really great branding for that. But also it's the North Star metric that lets people know if they're actually investing in the right direction as a tech team. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So for example, like right now, even VCs are like thinking about analyzing Series A and later startups by us. So to know if their engineering are exceptionally good. So they are able to reach these really exceptional results.
Okay, so wait, so the customers are the venture capital firms?
No, this is like interesting approach that like for the last couple of weeks, like some VCs like ask us to do. for us is still proving ROI on AI tools. Like you can't imagine how much money is going to these companies every day. How much money is spent on tokens by one engineer. And it's crazy. And these budgets are unlimited in most of these companies. And right now they're changing the type of pricing to token-based pricing. So basically one engineer is able to spend $10,000 overnight. And it's, sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. And it's really hard to decide.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it now after 10 minutes and 3 conversations with you. So I think
too bad at explaining.
Well, no, it's not that. I mean, I think you're a CTO selling to other CTOs. So like everybody that's not in that world doesn't need to understand it as much. But I think also what I see startups have a problem with explaining who they are by explaining what they do. And you have to really, and that's what I was saying to you off of recording beforehand, you really got to say what you do. And I think it's, you measure the unmeasurable for these tech teams and for the AI infrastructure of the internet. And so it makes sense when you say it like that. I'm a data-driven person more than most because the whole last 20 years of my life has been about optimizing things and getting measurable results and experimenting and then reporting, tracking, and analyzing. That's how I go through work and personal life with diet and exercise and everything. So it's interesting to me that this world where, I don't know, 70% of all the costs of running a business now are on the AI token side. I mean, the cost of software development has gone down so much. That's why marketing has become marketing and sales are the moat now for a lot of companies. And so it makes sense that you are providing the measurement for all that 70% of spend. So that's really cool. Who are the customers though? So venture capitalists are coming to you, which maybe you make a side product for them that they can just ingest data and get a report. But it's what types of startups, where are they located, what industries, who best benefits from this?
Like right now, it's mostly companies with more than 50 engineers. Our customers have from 10 to 4,000 right now.
Wow. What company has 4,000 engineers?
You would be surprised. So many, But for us, with this, we cannot name them. So I can only say the size.
Yeah.
But for example, with cybersecurity companies, I can name ESET. It's a famous software security company. And we are onboarding multiple really, really big and famous companies in the US.
Okay.
And again, we even don't have logos on our site as just because, it's a controversial topic, because in order to measure ROI on AI spend, you need to measure the engineering as a whole. And sometimes people, or specifically engineers, when they see that they are measured, they are not taking this even though, the moment. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Most people work in tech with a lot of trust and a results-oriented work environment. I've never tracked the hours of any of my employees ever. And I know sometimes they're working over, sometimes they're working way less because we don't have the the workload. And so that nobody wants to be tracked. And so I could see a company would be upset promoting that we're tracking our employees with this new technology. And so they don't want to do that.
Yeah. But we never had one who use it like that. Nobody do it I will sort all of my engineers from top from the highest performing to the lowest one, and I will just fire the bottom 10%.
I mean, they will do that. They'll put them on a performance plan, PIP thing. I think there's a way. That's marketing. I think there's a way for you to make it gamified, where maybe it's a badge or a medal or a plaque that the top engineer wins, and you don't even pay attention to the bottom part. We don't look at that. We don't, we just have it's just they have improvement and performance reviews with their managers. They're not going to get fired or anything. It's hey, we need to rein in your spending a little bit. Like, it's important that we get ROI of the projects that you're working on. It's not there.
Yeah.
You need to reduce your spending, or we've limited your spending. But the employees that are on the top should be, getting a plaque, a mention on LinkedIn from the company, some kind of, I don't know, award from the business, like the same thing, like the old school employee of the month. You're the AI ROI employee of the quarter or whatever. I mean, so you're switching it from a negative thing to a positive thing, to where the employees want to work at a company where if they are doing really good, they're getting promoted, not promoted. What's the word I'm looking for? They're getting
recognized.
Thank you. The recognition comes with financial. Hey, you saved us $800,000 in the last quarter. We want to give you a $50K bonus. Then all the employees make it a point to be more efficient with their tokens, and all of a sudden the company saves millions of dollars. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes like total sense. Right now, when we say to these engineers they're exceptionally good in their company, man, they love us.
Exactly.
Like they're like, they're like really engaged with our product, and they're like promoting the product internally. But still, the beginning, it's not when they know that tools like this are introduced in their company and they never saw it, they're afraid. It's the same thing with sales, for example. Imagine running sales without KPIs, without performance management. If you ask a sales team, do you want one? No. But
That's
can
true.
you benefit if you have like the performance metrics in your sales team? The best ones will be, we want them.
I mean, any good sales team wants whatever's going to help them produce more and make more money. And so I think, again, it comes down to marketing to really explain why this is going to help the engineering team. Regardless of the company's success, it's going to help the individual engineer be more successful in a unbelievably, if not the most competitive space in all of business history of the world. The AI engineer and software engineering right now in general is the most competitive space in history, because you are competing against other engineers, which everyone in the world was getting that training for 20 years because it was the fastest and easiest way to financial freedom, highest average salary in the world. And now you're competing with software doing it better than you for 1/100th of the cost. So you are providing quantified proof that they are good at what they do, and that they are AI modernized and AI native and better than their peers. And so I think it comes down to how you pitch it and how you market it. But at the end of the day, employees hate any new tech at any company. That's one of the biggest difficulties from selling B2B, is if there's a large implementation tail at the end of it, it's going to piss everyone off. It's going to have a lot of pushback from employees. That's why we do top-down approach from outreach. Do you know what that means, top-down approach?
Like you reach the C-suite members first.
Yeah, let them make the decision and let them deal with the employees not wanting to be tracked and monitored. You don't care, because you can make a knowledge base, you can write a couple blogs, you can make a couple YouTube videos, and then you just have stuff for that C-level person to send to their employees. Sometimes we do a 30-minute or 60-minute kickoff call, and the whole team is invited, virtual call, and then you're speaking and telling them like, hey, we're not going to be monitoring you for anything negative. I just had this experience with a client. We're rolling out the client is rolling out an AI brain for the company. So it lives in Slack. It monitors everyone's calls. It literally goes to every person's calls. And the guys was that it's going to help you. It's going to help you do admin. It's going to know who said what in last Thursday's meeting and this and that. But everybody was like, oh, we know what's really happening here. It's actually going to be reporting whose eyes are looking at the camera the most during meetings, whose camera is off, who missed meetings, who didn't talk, like who's not following up with their targets in the CRM and this and that. And so I don't have those kinds of managers as a consultant, but I could see that the people who were mid-level in the company were pretty upset. But at the end of the day, it's the C-level person that wants the innovation, that wants the metrics.
Like imagine, to be a board member, you have like couple hundreds of engineers. You have no clue what they are doing there.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and
No,
we
it's
just
crazy.
give you the data to see everything what is happening there.
Right. And so, like I said, so I think it's an obvious choice for owners of the business, and the employees can, I think it just needs to be spun to them that this is all about efficiency in making you more efficient and more effective, and promoting and recognizing the employees that are using AI in the best way. It's not about demonizing anybody else. But as you mentioned, I think it was off the recording, after you get the results, and let's say there's 3 engineers that are down in the red, what do you do? How do you improve? How do you help them?
You talk to them. That's the first question. You ask them what is happening. Is this correct? What you are doing? And most of the time they're just doing something else. They are mentoring others, and everybody knows that. You need the whole story. So that's why we are actually recommend to measure the team as a whole. Or if you want to see the improvement by AI tools, you don't necessarily need to benchmark the team to other teams. You can benchmark the team against the team a year before they adopted AI. Because what's really cool on code is it has a history.
Right.
So the moment when we enter the company, we are not just telling them how they are performing now. We can tell them how they performed a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 20 if it's necessary.
Makes sense.
Because it's in the code history.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, if somebody's been at the company for 10 years, you can see how much they produced year on year on year. How are you getting customers?
So, right now, mostly through inbound. Basically, people talk about us. And we are growing mostly in CE because we are originally from CE and we are quite big and famous here. But in the US, it's harder. So in the US, because I moved there 9 months ago, we are starting to get more and more customers, and we are focusing on these bigger ones, mostly through events. But we are tackling the outreach, but it's hard without the brand recognition. So we are working on this through podcasts, through
you're one of the first guests on the show that's actually really targeted to this audience. Most people come on the show, they have something that targets renters, or they have something that's, I don't know, for titling for the real estate industry or something. And I go, this isn't really a targeted podcast for you. The value is getting free marketing advice from me. But for you, anybody listening to this probably should and could be a potential customer. I'll definitely put a link below in the show notes where people can sign up, and we'll put a little UTM source and parameter on there so you can see who exactly is coming from our side. But well, you picked, I think, the right podcast to come on, not necessarily for distribution, but I think paint a strong picture of how you need to be getting customers in America in 2026 based on what's working across the 30 startups a year that I work on. First thing is, you mentioned inbound. So how are you getting inbound? It's not just we did PR from our fundraise and people spread word of mouth. It's, is it current customers that are introing other, what does that inbound look like? What's causing that inbound?
This for us to describe how they actually reach us. We are even asking them on demo calls. How did you heard about us? And they're asking, our CEO told us to go on the meeting with you, and then we know nothing. How did we get this?
That is exactly the top-down approach that I said is important for this kind of a business. The employees are not going to come on their own. It has to be C-level that goes, hey, fucking do this, and then they go do it. But you're not finding out how the CEO found you in the first place?
No, not yet, but it's actually a good idea to ask him too.
Okay. So here's what we do in these kinds of scenarios. So there's 3 ways we figure out how people are finding out about us, and I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. One is qualitatively, we ask in the meeting. It's real. Hey, we're a small startup. It would really help us if you let us know how you found out about us. And then we pry. We don't accept our CEO told us, oh, well, do you mind if I reach out to your CEO and ask them? Because it would really help. I'd love, I always say we're doing a lot of marketing stuff here, and I would love to be able to know what's working. So that's one way. The second way is when they're booking a meeting on the Calendly or Outlook, whatever Google form you use for people to book meetings with you, we make a very exhaustive list of all the ways that they could have found out about us, from what's going on internally in the company to where we've gotten media. So it's not just you saw me on a podcast, it's the Funded Now What podcast. That way you can really know. If you just put generic answers, everyone always clicks Google. They just lazily click Google. But if you put very specific answers, they take the time to scroll through the multiple choice answer and select it. And then the third way is obviously from Google Analytics and conversion tracking, funnel tracking, whatever. If you use Mixpanel, you can do it even more detailed, but UTM parameters on any partners, any blog, any PR, anything out there, that should do the trick for the most part to at least get you some of source medium on the refer. So the blended average between the three of those data points should point to the right thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I specifically love the first question. It would definitely help us. It's so simple and so easy to do. Love it.
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, and it's beautiful to hear that there's inbound motion already. Let's 10x that. Let's next move into the inbound stuff, how we drive inbound. So what we're finding is B2B companies, and obviously your target more than anyone, is AI ready, AI native. They're outsourcing a lot of their searching in general to AI. So the number one thing you have to focus on, especially when you're creating a target, which I've done many times. I mean, I've created a space, a metric, something like that that's marketable for the company many times. You have to create a lot of content. You need to create content. What is ETV? How to track AI spending? Like the amount of searches for the how to track ROI of AI tools, like these kinds of things. I would make 500, not exaggerating, 500 blog posts of how-to articles and listicles, top 10 ways to assess ROI of your AI spend, and top ways to figure out the ROI of your engineers, or how to figure out what your engineers are doing. All the different, sorry, go ahead.
Where would you publish this?
Okay. So the first thing you do is you publish them on your own blog. So I know it sounds ridiculous, but Google and AI don't care if you write top 10 ways to assess ROI of your engineers and you put Navigara as number one, but there's 9 other ways, whether they're manual tests, using Claude code, whatever it is, you can put that, and that is looked at as an unbiased article. And obviously you are number one. You created the fucking space. So it's not like a lie or like, well, you're number one cheerleading team in all of the Midwest. Like it's an actual truth that you're the number one because you're the first one out there that does it. So you publish those articles on your own blog. Now, there are other steps that you have to do going up to making that blog get on the first page of Google or get into AI search. But it's all SEO. So the speed of your website, the keyword density of the content, the mobile usability of your website, like size of tap targets, the mobile page speed optimization, like you need to have green. Like there's a 1 out of 100 rating on usability and the size of the buttons and all kinds of crazy stuff. But it's essentially this formula. It's the technical things you need to fix on the website, plus the creative copywriting and keyword density of the website, plus the speed of the website, plus the blog articles that you need to make. That's essentially equals. And then I guess the last part of it is all the links that you get. So coming on podcasts like this, build links to businesses that have been doing SEO for 10 years, sorry, we're 10 years old. So we have hundreds of links and hundreds of pages on the first page of Google. So we're a very good company and URL to link with because of domain authority. And so you want to, the long tail of that SEO and GEO is forever be building links through PR, content marketing, partnerships, influencer marketing, being on podcasts, doing events. It never ends.
So
go ahead.
Andrew, that's so funny. Like yesterday we started our blog.
Nice.
3 articles.
Well, so most companies, when I land, have a blog and they're like, oh, we don't really see any ROI from them. I'm like, yeah, because you're imagining that you're going to put news stories out on your blog and someone's going to come to your website and be like, oh my God, a blog, let me read it. It doesn't happen like that. We don't actually have our blog visible on the header menu of our website or anywhere on the site. It's supposed to be an entry point from the outer internet into our universe only. It's not meant to retain users or convert people who already know Navigara.com, by the way. I love the URL. So think about it. The percentage of people that are spreading word of mouth and knowing your business versus the TAM of all the total people out there that could be using your product is 1 billionth or so. You know what I mean? Or 1 millionth of it. So we want to get the people that are searching for how to figure out ROI of my engineers or how to track my engineers' token spend or whatever the millions of searches like that might be. You want to show up on Google and in AI for that. Top companies for tracking ROI of engineers or whatever it is. And I don't even know what all those search terms be, but go ahead.
Andrew, and what about like these agentic tools? You know, right now people are asking Claude or Gemini, what is the best tool to measure ROI on AI tools? Because the main angle why we create the log was actually for them.
Of course. No. That's what I'm talking about. So you create that content. It's not for humans. There's only about 50%. I mean, you'll see in your Google Search Console, search terms are 20, 30 words long now because people are entering AI search conversations into Google. But for the most part, we're creating the content so that when someone goes, hey, I just hired another 10 engineers onto my team and I need to figure out who's doing what. We're spending $10,000 a night on tokens. What software should I use? Then the AI goes, well, we just read through all these blog posts that you created about your own company. I'm not making this up. Now, after I tell you this, you will see every company does this. Every company does this. It started 15 years ago with Buffer, the social media tool. They were really big on blogging. I mean, blogging is 30 years old, but I meant like specifically with the listicles and the how-to articles. And now that's what AI grabs. So it's, for instance, if you are listening to this or you, Jirka, and you go to AI, you're moving back to San Francisco. We have an early stage startup. I need a fractional CMO. Who's the best fractional CMO for startups, early stage startups in San Francisco? I created all that content with April on my team and Justin on my team. And, we feel very confident that I am the best fractional CMO for early stage startups in San Francisco because nobody else wants to work with early stage startups because they run out of money. They fail even when the marketing goes right. I just am obsessed with that stressful early phase. And if you find what you love in life, you should stick with it no matter how much money it makes you or how much competition there is, because then you have fun getting out of bed. Anyway, my point is my content comes up and then the AI recommends me. And what happens is we're seeing that, especially for large, not so much early stage startups and stuff, but large enterprise companies are outsourcing their decision-making from a vendor discovery point of view to the AI. So the importance for coming up in AI search cannot be undersold. It's the most important thing you can do from a marketing point of view. I wrote a book earlier this year about it after 16 or 14 months of experimenting. And as a company, GrowthExpertz, we don't do a single other marketing activity. We get about 2 to 3 meetings, seriously targeted ICP meetings booked a week just from AI, and only about, I would say, 150 visits a month from AI to our website. So it's pretty decent conversion rate, around 10% are booking meetings. So the intent is very high too. You end up closing these customers on average 5 to 7.5 times faster than through outreach. If you reach out to a company, this sounds cool, I need to get my team to meet with you, then they have to report back to me, as opposed to, I'm sick of all this spend, I don't know what's happening, let me go to AI. Okay, I need to use Navigara, let me book a meeting, and then I'm going to sign up in day one. Especially, is it self-service? Can I just sign up on your platform?
we had the self-service. We noticed it's kind of complicated to connect. Yeah. So right now we are switching again to book a demo and or like able to chat with our sales agent. But in a couple of weeks, I think like 2 to 3, we'll be adding free audits. So you're able for free audit your engineering team to understand what is happening there.
I don't like it. I don't like free. I think there should be a cost behind it, but
so the experience, but there will be like small twist. Yeah. We will only show you all the data, not the current one. We will tell you what was your engineering performance 4 months ago.
Interesting. I don't know if that will have enough. I don't know if that will have enough impact to make someone move forwards, but you'll be able to figure that out very quickly. Yeah. But that's interesting, and I think pricing and delivery of the product are the hardest things to figure out in 2026. Is it self-service? Do we do, if it's self-service, you get a lot of conversions, but people, they sign up, you get some data and you can contact them, but it also undervalues the product. So it's like it depends on pricing.
Maybe you can help me with this. What I'm hearing right now, even though our definitely ideal market is these really, really big companies where the pain is the biggest, but it's really difficult to reach them out and onboard them. And what people are telling us that it's a good idea to go through the smaller ones, around 50 to get the traction. And over time, we will be recognized and then we'll be able to reach these really, really big ones.
Correct. That's the right strategy. Small companies move fast. Big companies wait for you to get some case studies and to prove out how it works. So you're actually supposed to do both motions at the same time. So you're talking to the big companies with protection to make sure that they're not interviewing you to try and steal your ideas and build shit on their own. Because I see that many times, by the way, for early stage startups. A friend of mine was trying to build something in the navigation space and was talking to Google and Uber for 2 years. And I think they do that on purpose to really slow your innovation down so that they can catch up. So you want to be careful of big companies you don't want to meet with employees on the team that could seemingly be building something themselves. That happens a lot. But you want to have some of those conversations going, because even to investors, we're in conversations with this logo, this logo, this logo. It's motion. It's almost like an LOI. It sounds good. But the small companies move forward. Small and medium companies, you get revenue, you waste the least amount of time. And then the big companies are going to come inbound when they need something. So there's many other things besides SEO and GEO that we want to do to create that inbound. But one of them, if I can just rant for a second here, is you want to become the dominant voice of the innovation in your space. So I'm thinking back to 2019 when I launched email-based retargeting for a startup that's now doing 100 mil ARR. They had a technology that would identify website visitors on your website legally, only in America, not anywhere where GDPR exists, obviously. We don't have laws that protect people in America. Laws are just to make more money. But this company, we branded it as the first ever email-based retargeting tool, because when someone comes on your website without them filling out a form, about 25% of people, we could instantly send them an email. Hey, you're on my website. Here's a discount. And they'd be like, what the fuck? How'd you get my email? But it was in the email here, and the footer of the email was here's where we legally acquired your email address because you got free Wi-Fi at this airport. You entered in this giveaway in 1997 and we got your email, whatever it is. Anyway, so you want to make the CEO and founder the voice of why this technology is so important and what the problem is on LinkedIn. So then you have LinkedIn automation going out and it's adding these C-level decision makers. None of them are going to move forwards from the early messaging. They'll accept, and then they'll see the organic content that you're creating and the voice that you're making in the space. So you are dominating on LinkedIn, you're making YouTube videos, you're writing blogs, you're doing PR. All of this content then feeds into you being the dominant expert when people go ask AI hey, who's the expert in this? What company is out there? So the more you do it, again, it's hard for businesses because there's no immediate ROI. The fastest I've ever seen is 40 days to getting meetings booked through this work. But that's 40 days of, I hope this works. We're going to put in a ton of effort and cost. And that's recently the 40 days thing. I mean, last year it was 6 months. Now it's 40 days. But, things are rapidly advancing. But it also depends on how old school the space is. You're in a high tech AI native space. And so, but there's not as much competition for the side of the internet that you've carved out. So I would bet 60 days or so of hard work, and you're going to start to see yourself become the dominant voice of this little area that we're talking about. What is it? What did you say? Performance layer for AI and engineering.
Just the ROI on AI tools, it's enough. Even this is crazy big.
Right.
So, but a quick question, because, as I mentioned, like when we are targeting these smaller companies, the self-serve makes so much sense to do. Suddenly, for the big ones, let's schedule a demo call or book a meeting. They are used to do this, but these smaller ones, they just want the result instantly. Yeah.
So that's why you allow them to sign up. So there's usually 4 plans, right?
Yeah.
The get started plan, you can just sign up and get started right now. And if you use past your credits or tokens, whatever it is, then you have to sign up or whatever. And then the 4th one is enterprise. Click here to book a meeting. We'll build a custom solution for you, blah, 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 whatever it is. Got more than 100 engineers? Meet with us. The problem is companies don't really want to meet. I'm actually potentially going to invest in this company from Belgium. I'll give them a shout out. It's extramuros.ai, extramuros.ai. They are, and we are potential. GrowthExpertz is using this in our ads. Instead of driving people to the website, now from social media, from ads, from anything, we drive people to a URL that is an AI trained on everything that we do, so that people can instantly chat with the AI, and it doesn't live on the website. Now, I'm kind of hopeful for that, that an AI agent experience might be the next conversion. And I'm about to coin the term similar to what you did. I'm going to call it an AI warmed lead, AWL. An AI warmed lead is actually better than an email subscriber. It's better than it's almost as good as someone who's already met with you. But what we're seeing is people don't want to meet anymore, especially on the B2B buyer side. They don't want to meet with every potential solution.
Like yesterday, I spent $40 exactly for a tool like this. I forgot the name, but basically it is trained on our landing page or our recommendation, and you can chat with it or you can basically book a demo or chat with this agent. And it's surprisingly good.
Yeah. So with Extramuros, it's not just the publicly available content. We're training it on all of our proposals, all of our private case studies, all of our testimonials, everything that we've ever done. It has ingested 300 hours of calls that clients have gotten with me. So it's almost like meeting with me, but you can do it in real time. So anyway, I'm bringing all this up to say that I do think that people are going to burn out from wanting meetings in general, and there won't be sales prospect meetings as much. Whereas people, there's already a company, I can't think of the name, starts with a T, in San Francisco, where you train your agent, you put your agent into their platform, and then other people's agents come and ask your agent, and agent to agent sales discovery is now happening. So it's a 2-sided marketplace for services, but it's agent to agent. And so, you will in the future tell your agent, hey, we need something to track the ROI of all the token spend and what the engineers are working on. Go off and find it for me. And it goes out on the internet and scours content, but also visits companies' websites, sees if it's relevant, and then surfaces the top 3 companies to the human that didn't have to do anything. And so we want to be ready for that. And go ahead.
That's amazing product. I would love to see this one day work, but most of crazy AI spend in engineering started with this sentence. able to one agent to talk with the second agent, and there is a third agent, you know?
Yeah, we're just building shit to talk to shit about shit that we built. It's just in a full circle of spend.
They start to hallucinate and talk to each other about nonsense stuff. It's so expensive.
Yeah, it is expensive. And then meanwhile, the company thinks they're saving money because it's AI and AI must be cheaper than humans. So no, I'm really hopeful for your business because I think that, like you said, we can't optimize anything without data. And you're providing the data layer to the most costly part of being in business in 2026. So it should be really high demand in San Francisco. I think you'll do really well there. But anyway, so we talked about, I think this is about to be one of our longest episodes because there's just so much stuff that you can do, but I'm going to keep going. So basically, we talked about the SEO and GEO, mandatory. You need to be working on that. You're creating a target and inventing a segment. You need to be the loudest voice in that space and about the need for that. Talked about being really dominant on LinkedIn too. That's one and the same. PR, being on podcasts is great, but creating your own content and getting interviewed in the media is even more important. We talked about with GEO, sometimes we'll create the articles and we won't put them on our own blog. We'll actually ship them out to the media. I think that should be something that you're thinking about. Again, the top 10 ways to track the ROI of your AI token spend or to track engineers, giving that article out to the media, they might include you and you get a hyperlink out of it. Obviously, you're putting yourself as number one. They might not always keep that, but you usually get on there. And those hyperlinks are like gold in 2026 for link building.
Last week, we were mentioning SF Weekly, our research.
Nice. Okay, but did you get a hyperlink? Did they link to your website?
Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. So SF Weekly, to anybody else outside of the whole world that doesn't know what that is, it matters because regular people in San Francisco are AI founders and engineers. So anywhere else, the local newspaper wouldn't really matter very much, but San Francisco does. You talked about events. The things that are working really well in San Francisco from an event perspective are poker games right now. I don't know if you've seen that. Have you heard that?
Really?
I used to play poker in Prague, where you're based. I forget the name of the casino there, but really good players there.
There is a really famous poker player app called GTO Wizard. It just helps you to play better. My really, really good friends are founders of that app. So I play a poker.
No, but you'll see when you go back to San Francisco, there's at least 2 games a week on Luma. And that's really good networking, unbelievable networking, because you can go to startup founder meets with VC. Nobody that's really successful, no offense to anybody listening, goes to those events. I go to those events to mentor and to help out. I'm not looking to meet founders that are at, 20 mil ARR or whatever already there. It's mostly pre-seed or even pre-funding, pre-product founders that go to those events. So you're not going to find targets. When you go to the poker games, like Tony, shout out to Tony's Poker Nights. It sounds ridiculous, but it's really big. Like 200 people, mostly YC founders. A lot of VCs go to those things. And it's really big. Monaco, the AI CRM that just raised like $75 million, they threw a poker tournament as a marketing initiative, last week. And I got 5th place out of 150 there. Shout out to Monaco.
Whoa,
Thanks for the $5,000, Monaco. No, but it was unbelievable networking. I mean, Jack Altman was there. There were some other really big people there. But so poker go ahead.
I'm so glad that you are mentioning this, because normally I'm spending my time in San Francisco, but this time when I'm traveling to US, I will be in New York just because there are like these...
Boo, no, I'm kidding.
No, it's just I was on these events. I was meeting only like these like pre-funding or pre-seed founders, and it was not our ICP.
Yeah, so New York is maybe better for you just because of the size. San Francisco's not even 1 million people. People don't realize that. It's only like 800,000. It's only 800,000 population. What's the population of Prague?
Around 1 million,
Yeah, so isn't that crazy? So when you go to New York, it's 18 or 19 million people. And, obviously not 18, or I would say 90% of those people are not tech, but that still means it's larger than double the size, I think, of San Francisco tech scene. So that makes sense. I don't really like New York. I'm not going to talk shit about it. I think San Francisco Bay Area is the best place in the world. And I can say that I've lived in, 11 countries, and it's great. But doing your own events is a good idea. So, it's okay to do things that don't scale in the early stages. It's not okay to spend tons of money on doing an event. You can just make meetup for founders, like of any kind of, like a run club, things like that. That's when random founders that are already quite successful come out. The thing about SF, and which is why it's worth going to, is just going to AI founders events. So you probably went to like founders plus VCs events and things like that. That's when you're getting job seekers. But anyway, the event thing, there's not much I can teach you there. It's just go to at least 3 events per week. That's just what you have to do. I think the phase 2 of that is creating your own events. If that works, then you start doing your own events. The outbound side, let's talk about that, and then I'll let you go. What are you doing outbound wise to generate meetings?
Oh, we figure out a hack, like a really nice one. I'm not sure if I want to share it. Basically, we notice certain position in company that it reacts really well on what we do.
Okay.
And it's not the CTO of the company. So right now we are using LinkedIn the most, like multiple accounts and email. And like, nice. I think we should be more successful with it, but we are still learning, and every week we learn a bit of like thing or two. So that's good. But right now the new position is we are getting like a good traction because of it, actually.
No, that's a great signal. And I've seen that with another company that I did outreach for. We saw that if they had someone hired for AI and digital transformation, and this is an old school industry, nowhere near tech startups, but if they had chiseled out room in their org for an AI digital transformation person, then that person can become a champion and move it over the goalpost faster inside the organization. So that's actually a really cool thing to talk about. I don't think a lot of people realize that. Everyone goes only to CEO and CTO for things, C-level in general, and thinks that must be the way we have to go. But there's top down, there's bottoms up. So bottom up is going to an engineer like, hey, you're a real badass engineer. You want to prove it to your company? You should bring this to the org. And then there's the mid-level approach, which I don't know what it would be, but it's whatever secret role you don't want to tell me about in the company.
No, I think you hit it spot on. Just change the first name.
Digital transformation person. Yeah. Like
AI transformation person.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. You're giving them a tool that's going to make them keep their job. You're doing their work for them. They're going to have to build a handmade system in Claude to try and track the ROI. And that's probably hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of tokens just right there. How much are you charging, by the way? And then I will let you go, I promise. But how much does this cost?
Like, we don't have like a per seat pricing in our contracts. But normally if you have like 1,000 engineers or 100 engineers, is multiply this by 30. It's normally like 1 year license. And if you have like more engineers or more AI agents to watch, we don't care. We trust them.
Wait, so 30 euros per month per engineer or something?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. It seems pretty fair and standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I mean, the easier the pricing can be to explain, the better. Same thing with the business and the ROI. Like the harder these things are to explain, the more decisions a person needs to make to decide if they're going to use you. So if it's just an easy per seat pricing, it's easy to figure out the value and the ROI, what you're doing, then it's going to be an easy decision for them. But awesome. Yeah. Well, I could keep ranting, but I think that's enough marketing gold for you. I'm sure. Well, if you're going to be in New York, I'll never see you, but I believe.
No, I will be probably like in July in San Francisco for a couple of days.
I'll be in Europe. but I will see you. But
I'm in so I will be back in the Europe in the end of July.
it's funny. Well, I'll be back in San Francisco getting ready for Burning Man. But I think the life hack, once you're a little bit, early digital nomads go to South America, go to Asia to like make ends meet. And then as you get more successful, the dream for everyone should be Europe in the summer. There is no greater place than Europe in the summer when the weather is great and everybody's out at the parks and it's, so I'll be hopping around Norway, Bulgaria, Belgium.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe come see some friends in Prague as well. But I don't drink alcohol anymore. You can't come to Prague if you don't drink. They don't let you.
No,
they stop you at the airport and they give you a beer. And if you don't drink it, they kick you out. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, have to.
Anyway, Jirka, the website is navigara.com, right?
Yes.
And that's another thing I love, by the way. I'm always fighting with AI founders. Like, please, can you just do .com? It'll look so much better. It'll help with conversion rate. And you're actually selling to people who understand AI and you're still .com. And I love that. And I appreciate you for doing that. How much was navigara.com to buy?
It was relatively cheap, like just couple, I don't know, $2,000 to $3,000.
Nice. Well, it looks great. It really looks great. And if you're selling to big companies, I promise you that'll help you a lot. It was a worthwhile investment. But anyway, Jirka, thank you so much for joining on the podcast. I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Awesome. Dude, there you go. That was it. Don't go.
That has been another episode of the Funded Now What podcast with your host, Andrew Lee Miller, brought to you by GrowthExpertz. If you liked this episode, please subscribe. And if you really liked it, please share with other founders and entrepreneurs. Thanks. And we'll see you in the next episode.